There are cars people buy because they are exciting, and then there are cars people buy because they simply cannot afford drama. The 2009 Toyota Camry belongs firmly in that second category, and that is exactly why it became one of the most trusted sedans of its era. This is not a car that shouts for attention. It does not try to be a sports sedan, a luxury car, or a tech showcase. Instead, it offers something that has become more valuable with time: predictable ownership, comfortable transportation, strong parts availability, and the kind of long-term reputation that makes used car shoppers stop and take a second look. But here is the real question. More than 15 years later, is the 2009 Camry still a smart buy, or is its reputation doing more work than the car itself? Today, we are breaking it down in detail: design, engines, performance, reliability, maintenance costs, interior comfort, rivals, pros, cons, and the final verdict. If you are shopping for a dependable used sedan, this one deserves a serious look. The 2009 Toyota Camry sits in the middle of the 6th generation Camry lineup, known internally as the 1540 generation. This generation arrived for the 2007 model year, and by 2009 Toyota had already settled into the formula: a roomy midsize sedan with restrained styling, broad trim coverage, and a focus on comfort more than flash. From the outside, the 2009 Camry has a soft, rounded shape that still looks clean today. It is not aggressive, but it is not awkward either. The short front overhang, tall cabin, wide headlights, and simple rear end all point toward one goal: practicality. The design gives good visibility, easy entry and exit, and a cabin that feels larger than the exterior dimensions suggest. Trim levels generally included CE, LE, SE, and XLE. The CE was the entry-level version, simple and functional. The LE was the mainstream choice, often the sweet spot for value. The SE added a slightly sportier appearance, firmer suspension tuning, and unique styling touches. The XLE leaned more upscale, with more comfort and convenience features available, including leather, premium audio, and added luxury equipment depending on options. Under the hood, buyers had two main gasoline engine choices. The base engine was a 2.4-liter four-cylinder, rated around 158 horsepower in most versions, paired with either a 5-speed manual or 5-speed automatic depending on trim and configuration. The upgrade engine was Toyota's 3.5-liter V6, producing 268 horsepower and paired with a 6-speed automatic transmission. There was also a Camry Hybrid, which combined a 4-cylinder engine with Toyota's hybrid system. That model is worth mentioning because it offered strong fuel economy for the time, but in this video, we are focusing mainly on the regular gasoline Camry, because that is what most used shoppers are comparing against the Accord, Altima, and Mazda 6. The key thing to understand is this: the 2009 Camry was not built to dominate magazine comparison tests. It was built to fit into normal life. School runs, commuting, errands, highway trips, and years of ownership without constant surprises. That is the Camry's lane, and Toyota stayed in it very deliberately. Performance in the 2009 Camry depends heavily on which engine you choose. The 2.4-liter four-cylinder is the sensible engine. With about 158 horsepower and 161 pound-feet of torque, it is not fast, but it is adequate for normal driving. Around town, it has enough low-speed response to feel easy. On the highway, it cruises comfortably, though passing at higher speeds requires planning, especially with passengers or cargo on board. This engine's personality is simple, smooth enough, efficient enough, and inexpensive enough to maintain. For the average commuter, that is the point. It is the engine you choose when your priority is fuel economy, lower repair costs, and the least complicated ownership experience. Fuel economy for the four-cylinder is one of its strong points. EPA estimates were roughly in the low 20s in the city and around 30 miles per gallon on the highway, with the automatic commonly listed around 21 city and 31 highway. In real-world mixed driving, many owners see numbers in the mid-20s if the car is maintained well and driven calmly. Then there is the 3.5-liter V6, and this engine changes the Camry's character. With 268 horsepower and 248 pound-feet of torque, the V6 makes the 2009 Camry genuinely quick for a family sedan of its time. It pulls strongly from low speeds, merges onto highways with confidence, and gives the car a relaxed, effortless feel at higher speeds. The V6 also pairs with a 6-speed automatic, which helps keep the engine in a good power band. It is not a performance transmission by modern standards, but it suits the car well. The trade-off is fuel economy. Expect numbers closer to the high teens in city driving and the upper 20s on the highway, with official estimates around 19 city and 28 highway. Now, what about driving feel? The Camry is comfortable first. Steering is light, ride quality is compliant, and the cabin is tuned more for isolation than feedback. The S8 trim adds a firmer suspension and a slightly sharper feel, but even then, this is not a car that begs you to take the long, twisty road home. It feels stable, quiet, and predictable. That may sound like faint praise, but for the target buyer, it is a strength. A good Camry does not tire you out. It tracks straight on the highway, handles broken pavement with composure, and gives you the sense that nothing is being overworked. If you want engagement, the Mazda 6 is more entertaining. If you want a more connected feel, the Accord has an edge. But if you want a sedan that makes daily driving feel easy, the Camry does exactly what it was designed to do. Reliability is the reason many people are here. The Camry name carries weight, and the 2009 model generally lives up to the broader reputation. These cars can cover serious mileage when maintained properly, and they benefit from simple mechanical layouts, abundant parts, and mechanics who know them well. But reliable does not mean invincible. This is an older vehicle now, and age matters just as much as mileage. Rubber parts dry out. Suspension components wear. Fluids get neglected. Interior plastics age. A poorly maintained Camry can still become expensive, even if the basic design is durable. The biggest issue shoppers should know about is oil consumption on some 2.4-liter four-cylinder engines from this era. The engine family has a known reputation for piston ring wear in some vehicles, which can lead to burning oil between changes. Not every car has the problem, and many examples are still running well, but it is important enough that you should check the oil level, ask about oil consumption, review service history, and inspect for signs of neglect. If you are test driving a four-cylinder Camry, start with the basics. Check the dipstick before and after the drive if possible. Look for smoke on startup. Listen for unusual engine noise. Ask the seller how often they add oil. A seller who says, "It just needs a quart now and then," may be describing a minor habit, or they may be hinting at a bigger issue. Other common age-related concerns include leaking water pumps, worn struts, tired motor mounts, brake wear, dashboard cracking or stickiness in hot climates, and general wear in the suspension and steering components. None of these automatically make the car a bad buy, but they should be reflected in the price. The V6 has a strong reputation and offers excellent power, but it can cost more to maintain. Access can be tighter, spark plug service is more involved, and fuel costs are higher. The V6 is a great choice if you want power and highway comfort, but the four-cylinder is usually the better budget pick if it is not burning oil. Cost of ownership is where the Camry shines. Parts are widely available, labor times are familiar to independent shops, and routine maintenance is straightforward. Oil changes, coolant service, transmission fluid service, brakes, tires, filters, and spark plugs are all predictable expenses. Insurance is usually reasonable, and resale value remains stronger than many rivals. For a used buyer today, the smartest move is not simply buying the cheapest Camry you can find. It is buying the best maintained Camry you can afford. A higher mileage car with records, clean fluids, matching tires, and a calm test drive may be a better purchase than a lower mileage car with mystery maintenance. Also, check the VIN for open recalls. Vehicles from this era were affected by several safety campaigns, and recall completion can vary by individual car. A Toyota dealer or official recall lookup can confirm whether the specific vehicle is up to date. The bottom line, the 2009 Camry can be a very durable used sedan, but its condition matters more than its badge. The Toyota name gets you a strong starting point. The inspection tells you whether that specific car deserves your money. Inside, the 2009 Camry is exactly what you expect from Toyota in this period: practical, spacious, and easy to understand. The dashboard layout is clean, the controls are large, and there is very little learning curve. You get in, adjust the seat, set the climate control, and drive. The front seats are soft and supportive enough for long trips, especially in LE and XLE trims. The seating position is relaxed, visibility is good, and the cabin has the open, airy feel that midsize sedans used to do so well. This is one of the reasons older Camrys still appeal to people who do not want the lower rooflines and tighter windows found in some newer cars. Rear seat space is also a major strength. Adults can sit comfortably in the back, and the wide opening doors make the car practical for families, older passengers, rideshare use, or anyone who regularly carries people. The trunk is usefully sized, around 15 cubic feet, which gives it enough room for groceries, luggage, tools, or daily cargo. Feature content depends on trim. A basic CE will feel simple, while an XLE can feel surprisingly well equipped for its age, with available leather, power seats, upgraded audio, and other comfort features. The SE brings a sportier look, including different interior trim and more supportive seats in some configurations. Build quality is generally good, but this is where age shows. You may find worn seat bolsters, faded trim, sticky dashboard material in warm climates, weak door lock actuators, tired speakers, or small rattles. These are not unusual for a car from 2009, but they matter if you want the car to feel pleasant every day. Compared with newer sedans, the Camry's technology is obviously dated. Do not expect modern infotainment, advanced driver assistance, huge screens, or seamless phone integration unless a previous owner installed aftermarket equipment. But there is an upside: fewer complicated electronics, physical controls, and a cabin that focuses on the basics. The comfort story is simple. The 2009 Camry is not trying to impress you with drama. It is trying to make every drive feel easy, quiet, and familiar. For many used car buyers, that is still exactly the right formula. To understand the 2009 Camry, you have to place it against its main rivals, the 2009 Honda Accord, Nissan Altima, and Mazda 6. All four were strong midsize sedans, but they had very different personalities. Start with the Honda Accord. In 2009, the Accord was larger, more athletic, and a little more driver-focused than the Camry. Its four-cylinder engines made around 177 to 190 horsepower depending on trim, while the 3.5-liter V6 produced about 271 horsepower. On paper, that makes the Accord very competitive with the Camry, especially in V6 form. The Accord's steering feels more connected, its chassis feels more alert, and it has a slightly more premium, substantial character from behind the wheel. If you enjoy driving, the Accord may feel more satisfying. The trade-off is that it can ride firmer, road noise can be more noticeable, and some buyers may find it less relaxed in everyday use. Reliability for the Accord is also strong, but it is not problem-free. Some V6 models from this period are associated with variable cylinder management concerns, oil consumption, and related maintenance issues. Brake wear and interior wear can also come up. A well-maintained Accord is an excellent used car, but it is not automatically better than a Camry. It is more a question of preference: sharper and more engaging, or quieter and easier going. Next is the Nissan Altima. The 2009 Altima was one of the sportier-feeling mainstream sedans, especially with the available 3.5-liter V6. The base 2.5-liter four-cylinder made around 175 horsepower, while the V6 produced around 270 horsepower. That means the Altima had strong numbers, and in daily driving it could feel lively and modern. The major difference is the transmission. The Altima used a continuously variable transmission, or CVT. When it is working well, the CVT gives smooth acceleration and helps fuel economy. The four-cylinder Altima could return impressive highway mileage for the class. But long-term CVT durability is the concern many used buyers focus on. Maintenance history matters, and a bad CVT can turn a cheap used Altima into an expensive mistake. Compared with the Camry, the Altima feels a bit more playful and less conservative. But the Camry is usually the safer ownership bet, especially for someone who values low drama over driving personality. Then there is the 2009 Mazda 6. This generation of Mazda 6 brought a more expressive design and a sportier driving experience. The base 2.5-liter four-cylinder made around 170 horsepower, while the available 3.7-liter V6 made around 272 horsepower. In terms of driver engagement, the Mazda 6 is arguably the most fun of this group. Steering feel, cornering balance, and body control are where the Mazda stands out. It feels lighter on its feet than the Camry, and it has more personality. If you want a midsize sedan that does not feel like pure transportation, the Mazda 6 is appealing. The trade-offs are resale value, parts familiarity, and the overall sense of relaxed durability. Mazda reliability can be good, but the Camry has the stronger reputation for long-term, low-stress ownership. The Mazda 6 also tends to feel less quiet and less plush, which may or may not matter depending on what you want. So here is the short version. The Accord is the Camry's most direct rival and the strongest alternative if you want a more connected driving experience. The Altima offers good performance and comfort, but the CVT is a major inspection point. The Mazda 6 is the enthusiast's choice, especially if steering and handling matter. The Camry wins by being the easiest car to recommend to the widest range of people. It may not be the most exciting, but it is comfortable, practical, efficient with the 4-cylinder, quick with the V6, and backed by a deep ownership ecosystem. For a used car shopper, that matters. A car is not just horsepower and handling. It is parts availability, mechanic familiarity, resale value, fuel costs, insurance, and how confidently you can hand the keys to someone in your family. That is where the Camry continues to make sense. Let's put the strengths and weaknesses clearly on the screen. The biggest pro is long-term reputation. The 2009 Camry is the kind of car people buy when they want dependable transportation, and that reputation is backed by years of real-world ownership. Second, comfort. The ride is smooth, the cabin is roomy, and the controls are simple. It is an easy car to live with. Third, the engine choices are useful. The 4-cylinder is the budget-friendly option, while the V6 gives the car real power without turning it into something complicated or exotic. Fourth, ownership support is excellent. Parts are easy to find, independent shops know the car, and maintenance costs are generally reasonable. Now the cons. The 2.4-liter 4-cylinder can have oil consumption issues, so inspection is critical. The driving experience is also conservative, especially compared with the Accord and Mazda 6. Technology is dated, and some interiors have aged better than others. The V6 is strong, but it uses more fuel and can cost more to maintain. And finally, because these cars are now older, condition varies dramatically. A clean 2009 Camry can be excellent. A neglected one can still be a headache. That is why the badge matters, but the inspection matters more. So, who should buy a 2009 Toyota Camry? This car makes the most sense for someone who wants dependable, affordable, comfortable transportation without chasing the newest features. It is a strong choice for commuters, students, families, first-time drivers, rideshare-style local use, or anyone who wants a practical sedan with a proven reputation. The best version for most buyers is a well-maintained 4-cylinder LE or XLE, assuming it does not show signs of oil consumption. The SE is worth considering if you want a slightly firmer, sportier feel. The V6 is excellent if you value power and highway confidence, but budget for higher fuel use and slightly higher maintenance. Is it still worth buying today? Yes, but only as a condition-based purchase. Do not buy one just because it is a Camry. Buy one because the service records are good, the fluids are clean, the engine is healthy, the transmission shifts properly, the suspension feels tight, the tires and brakes are in good shape, and a pre-purchase inspection checks out. Used values in 2026 vary widely by mileage, condition, trim, region, and seller, but current pricing guides still show the 2009 Camry holding meaningful resale value for its age. That says a lot about how the market views this car. The verdict is simple: the 2009 Camry is not the most exciting midsize sedan from its year, but it may be one of the easiest to live with. And for a used car, easy to live with is a very big deal. If this breakdown helped you understand the 2009 Toyota Camry, hit the like button, subscribe for more used car reviews, and tell us in the comments, would you choose the efficient 4-cylinder, the powerful V6, or would you pick the Accord, Altima, or Mazda 6 instead? And if you are shopping for one, remember, the best Camry is not always the cheapest one. It is the one with the cleanest history, the strongest maintenance record, and the fewest surprises waiting underneath. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next review.